Welcome to episode 2 of Q&A with Coach. I'm Jason Fitzgerald, and in this episode, I'm going to talk about how to take advantage of the seasons to run faster, whether or not I wear sunglasses when I run, and how to come back to a 5K race after you've been sick. All right, let's get started with our first question. This is actually the second time I've answered it because I recorded the entire Q&A with Coach with my microphone turned off. But let's give it another shot. So the first question comes from Kenny. How can I be ready for a 5K after taking 2 weeks off with a cold? This is a tough question because it really depends on how severe your cold was. If you had a flu, that's pretty severe, and it is much more important to take significant time off when you have a fever or something like that. But if your cold was a pretty standard cold, then you can probably run okay. You know, you're probably not going to be as fast as you were if you were 100% healthy for those 2 weeks and you were still training for those 2 weeks. But again, it really depends on the severity of the cold. Now, because you took 2 weeks off from running entirely, what you have to keep in mind is you're not really sure how you're going to feel on race day. So my suggestion is to actually start 10 to 20 seconds slower than your goal pace for the first half mile or so. Use that half mile to see how your body feels. Are you sore? Are you achy? Is your respiration or your breathing more labored than it should be? If so, that's an indication that maybe that cold and that time off took a little bit more out of you than you think it did. But if you go through the half mile point of the 5K at about 10 seconds slower than your goal pace and you feel fantastic, well then, by all means, let's pick it up a little bit so that you can settle into your goal pace and hopefully run close to your goal pace for your ultimate 5K finish time. So I think it really depends on the severity of the illness and how you feel on race day. And those two variables are going to be wildly different depending upon exactly what kind of sickness that you had. The other thing to keep in mind is that because you took some time off, you're obviously not going to be in the same shape that you were on race day. It takes about 2 weeks for your aerobic fitness or your endurance to start eroding, and it takes maybe about 7 to 10 days for your speed to really start eroding. So you are in a little bit worse shape than you were 2 weeks ago before your cold. And of course, with a cold, your body, instead of recovering from running, it's focused on recovering from that illness. So there's that going on as well. So my first recommendation is to take your 5K a little bit slower. And then, of course, just gauge how your body feels. And then when you do get back to normal training after your 5K, come back easy. Just don't do a workout for 3 to 4 days. Just get back into the rhythm of running. It's much more important to start running consistently before you start doing any big workouts. And that's true for any kind of faster workout, and that's true for a long run. So good luck with your 5K, Kenny, and I hope that you get healthy real soon. Okay, question number 2 from Chris. How can you take advantage of the weather and changes in seasons while training? So this is an interesting question because I've written a couple times about this, and I love it when runners run and train seriously through the summer. Because when the temperatures get higher, when the humidity gets higher, your body undergoes a series of adaptations that help increase your efficiency. And I do think there are some mental benefits through training through more adverse training conditions, so that when you do get to the fall, when the temperatures go down, the humidity goes down, you can really take advantage of that and you'll end up running a lot faster. You'll find that your workouts are not only a little bit easier, but you're probably running a little bit faster too. So you can put forth a really high effort in a race and probably run a lot faster than you think you probably could. Now, the other seasons don't really lend themselves very well to, quote, taking advantage of them, and I don't think you can use the winter to become a better runner. You know, same goes with the spring and the fall. The summer is really the time where if you do continue to get through your long runs consistently, if you do your workouts consistently, even though they are going to be a little bit slower, they are going to be more uncomfortable. You're going to feel like you're out of shape and that you're never kind of progressing to the level that you really want to, but your body is still maintaining a high level of fitness, and you will have a great fall if you train through the summer consistently. So Chris, good luck with your fall season. It's now fall as of this recording. So hopefully that you trained well over the summer so that now you can really take advantage of those efficiency gains and try to schedule a couple races after the summer in September and October, depending on where you live, so that you can really realize those gains, because they do tend to go away pretty quickly. There's probably a window of about 3 to 5 weeks where you kind of can run well off of those adaptations, and then your body just gets used to the lower temperatures and lower humidity levels, and you can't really run as fast because of them. Great question, Chris, and good luck with your fall training. Here's a fun question from Tyler. Tyler wants to know if I wear Oakley sunglasses while I run, and if so, do I have any favorite lenses? Short answer, no, I've never worn sunglasses at all while I run, Oakleys or not. And because I run the majority of my miles on softer surfaces, whether that's trails or even just grass or cinder paths, I really need to watch where I'm going. And I find that sunglasses can be a little bit more distracting. So I don't wear sunglasses. I would recommend that first you find a pair that fits your head and stays on while you run, and then you experiment with some lenses to find a pair of lenses that works for you depending upon the climate and sun that you happen to live in. All right, our final question is from Melissa. How much time or miles do you split between trail running and road running while training for a half marathon or marathon? Now, this is a great question, and there's no clear answer. I actually take a hybrid approach to this. So it's very beneficial to train specifically for the race that you're going to be racing in, okay? This is Training Theory 101, guys. Now, not only are you training for the distance and you're training for the pace that you want to run in, but you're also training for the surface. So if you're training for a trail race, it's very important to go do runs on trails, and especially it's important to do workouts on trails at your goal pace. You're comfortable running the pace that you're going to be running in the race on the surface that you're going to be running in the race. Now, the same is true for road races like the half marathon and the marathon. It's really important to train for that surface. So if you do all of your running on a softer surface, your body is going to experience a lot of impact forces on race day that you're just not used to. So what I like to do is, and I personally run about 2/3 of my mileage on softer surfaces, but as I'm getting ready for a longer race like a marathon or a half marathon, what I'll do is, as I get, maybe about 4 weeks out from the goal race, or maybe even 6 weeks out, I'll start running more and more of my priority workouts on the road. And this helps me adapt to the extra pounding and, that extra impact forces that I'm going to experience on a harder surface. So this means that I'm running my long run primarily on the roads. I'm running my faster workouts, my goal pace workouts on the road. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that I'm doing all of my long runs and workouts on the road in the final 6 weeks of my training cycle. I might do every other long run for the last 6 weeks on the road. I don't think you need to do all of it. Now, the other consideration here is how susceptible you are to injuries. So, if you're really injury prone, I think doing more of your training on trails can be really helpful, because the irregular surface, the softer surface, is going to help you stay healthy in the long term. So the hybrid approach that I would have you take is, in the first half of your training period, you can do more of your training on trails. The surface itself doesn't have to be as specific to the race. And then as you transition into the second half of your training cycle, as you get closer and closer to your goal race, you can start moving more and more of your workouts to the road. And this helps prioritize injury prevention early in the training cycle when you're building your mileage and you're getting your workouts up to a more strenuous level, when you really need to be prioritizing injury prevention. And then as you get closer to your goal race, then you're doing the more subtle things like getting more accustomed to the surface that you'll be running on during the race itself. So if you do that, if you kind of take a split approach to this, then I think you're going to be able to realize the benefits of both. Not only running entirely on the road or entirely on the trails, but you can do both. All right, great questions, guys. I had a lot of fun answering these. Thanks for watching episode 2 of Q&A with Coach. If you want to see your question on the show answered by me, then feel free to tweet it to me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is JasonFitz1, and make sure that you use the hashtag #RunQuestions so that I can find it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next episode. Welcome to episode 2 of Q&A with Coach. I'm Jason Fitzgerald,